Uh, so we have Vinay with us. You would already know Vinay. Yeah. So Vinay, just a hi to everyone if you would like to.
Hey everyone. I'm just here mostly to listen in and understand Glific better from. I mean, I've heard only. I've not really gone through like a presentation like this, so a lot of this will be new to me as well.
Thanks. Thanks, Vinay. All right, so let's get started. I have, before we get started, I'll just also want to hear a little bit about you. If you can rename yourself with your first name and your organization name so that we get to see who all are here on the call today. So yeah, that would be one thing. And just a few logistical things. One is if you have any questions, please type down on the chat box. Aishwarya is here. I will be looking at the chat box. We'll be taking the questions as and when we can take. We will also open up the floor after every section just to keep it interactive. If you have any questions, we can take those after at certain intervals during the webinar, and towards the end we will take up most of the questions. So that's how we're gonna talk today. And yeah, I'm gonna share my screen and we'll just get started now. Just 1 second. Okay, all right. So is my screen visible, Shwarya? Yeah.
Yes, it's
All right. So let's get started. What we're going to cover today is a little bit about what Glyphic is, why chatbots. We will move into a demo. We have made a few demo here for you. We'll talk about an organization's journey. This is Sneha. Sneha works in the health space. So we're going to talk a bit about Sneha. We'll talk a little bit about how you can create a bot. So this is going to be a demo of the platform. And then we're going to talk about, towards the end, we're going to talk about Glyphic Avni integration. So yeah, just a few housekeeping norms. Stay engaged, be curious. If you're not speaking, just keep yourself on mute. And this presentation is just a space for you to reflect and see what possibilities you see where automation can help on WhatsApp. So just keep that going during this session. So yeah. Okay, so that's the first question on the screen. Have you interacted with chatbots before on WhatsApp? Um, Type down yes, no on the chat box, or if you want to like speak, that's also fine. Yes. Okay. Okay, I can see a lot of yeses. Okay. All right. I'm also going to put a few people on spot to just share where have they seen WhatsApp chatbot. If anyone wants to share where they have seen anyone, else I'll pick one person. Ojis,
go
would
ahead,
you
Ojis.
Uh, I've seen it in Glific and HDFC Bank.
HDFC Bank, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, we get all those notifications from banks and
yeah.
yeah, travel partners bookings that we do. Okay, okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Yeah, Shwarya, sorry, you were saying something?
Nothing. I saw Ojis unmute himself. So I'm like,
The same with HDFC Bank and the other traveling agencies.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so mostly commercial places. And Swiggy, yes, with Swiggy, with food delivery partners. I've used it to book metro tickets. Okay, great. Thanks, Saki. Okay, that's good to know. that you're familiar with using bots, and you have used it at multiple places. When it comes to WhatsApp uh, is something that's being used in India the most. India is the largest WhatsApp has the largest WhatsApp users in the world. And when you look at traditional means of sending messages, which was email, with respect to email, WhatsApp has a higher open rate, which is more than 90%. So 90% versus 20%, there's a huge difference between the two. So if you're sending a message on WhatsApp to a user, most probably that message at least will be opened up by a user. Yeah. So that's one. Another one is it can save a lot of time for people if they're doing repetitive tasks, like collecting feedback from a program that they're running, or if someone has questions about a particular program, they can set up an FAQ. Like, for example, with with any of the commercial partners, if you have seen, like they usually have like an FAQ chatbot in to ask for you to answer, for you to get an answers to any of the questions that you have. So that is something which chatbots can really help you with, basically saving your time and energy into not sharing about the same answer again and again to so many people. So that's what it helps with. It's accessible majorly everywhere, I would say, unless the operation is in quite remote areas where there's no internet penetration. So that's the only place where you would see what's not being used. But yeah, majorly if you're looking at urban rural setting, it's something that is basically being used by users there. So yeah, and yeah, the next one is like, why should NGOs care about chatbots? Why should they think about chatbots? That's actually in our work of working with NGOs. So we currently work with more than 100 plus NGOs, and we have seen like there are multiple places where there's a human person involved in replying to all the messages which end users or beneficiaries send to them. Or there's a program team member who's responsible for, maybe, for example, collecting feedback from a session that has recently happened, right? It's a repetitive task, sending one message to, for example, 500 people, and then collating responses, and then saying, oh, my session was good, 50% of them said it was good, and then analyzing the data, right? So it's just a lot of work that goes into collating the data, not only just collecting the data, but also analyzing the data, and then understanding what my data is telling you. So that's where chatbots help in automating conversations, automating programs, and helping you to get the information faster. There's a prompt for everyone. So imagine you have to reach 10,000 people in real time. Could your current system handle it? Just a thought-provoking question for everyone. For example, if now you have to send a message to all 10,000 users or 10,000 people on the ground, can your current system handle it? If there are any answers, if you have any answers, please type down in the chat box. Yes, no. Happy to hear anything that comes to your mind. Okay. I can see a few no's here. That's what we're going to explore together on this call today. There are no's these can be converted to yeses with automation, and that's where Glyfic will help you in automating and sending messages to, for example, 10,000 people in real time. So that's possible, and it is possible through WhatsApp automation. Okay, what Glyfic is? Glyfic is a WhatsApp chatbot builder. So any NGO or any organization that wants to use WhatsApp to go to their end users, they can automate the conversations using Glific. So it's basically like a platform. It's a platform that helps you automate your conversation. So yeah, for example, it's a feedback collection form, and you want to just put it on. You know that every week you want to send a message to your user to collect feedback. You can just automate that and schedule a message in future that please collect the feedback on this particular, I mean, basically create a flow that can run on a particular date and time. So it's just something that helps you to automate your conversations with your users. That's what it's used for. We will show you how the platform works too in the later slides. Okay, so here's a quick demo for you. So what this is, you just go ahead and scan this. This is just to give you a feel of how chatbot works. Just give me a thumbs up or a yes if you're able to scan this. Thanks, Ojas. Okay. Murugan says no response. Aishwarya, can you check? The keyword is vision, right? The same.
When you scan the QR code, there is an auto-populated message that comes on your text box that says, you know, you'll have to send that message for it to work.
Okay, so vision or you know. So basically UONO, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know. Okay, if you got a chance to at least try it out once, just let me know so that we can move forward. Taki says it's not working. Oh, Aishwarya, there's something. Oh, Vinay found a story. Okay.
Um,
Okay, not working. Okay.
it is working for all of them. I think Taki and Kumar. I mean, I can see them on the prod.
Okay. If you can try one more time, if it doesn't work, we'll move forward. And we'll give you more spaces where we can show you more demos. Okay. So yeah, problem. Okay. So those who were able to see, yes. For iPhone, I'm getting WhatsApp leads to WhatsApp message. That's correct. It will take you to OBF new chat. And that's where you will just type down the keyword. It will just take you to the a new chat. Yes, it will ask for, yeah. Okay, so those who got a chance to go over it, just a question for you. Any reflections on anything that made you curious, excited, or anything that confused you with respect to the bot? Yes, Arun.
Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. If you ask me about this experience, it's quite creative because whenever I uploaded a picture, it gave me a story. But this is my experience. When I shared my own pic, the background was completely in white and black color. It was not colorful. So the chatbot suggested me to add more colors and improve the quality of image. So it gave me suggestions.
Okay, okay, great, great. Thank you. So here on the board, this is how on the back end it looks like for you. For those who have tried it out, you would, yeah. Let me see if someone has uploaded an image. Yeah. Okay, so when I uploaded a picture here, it asks for language. That's the first thing. Then this is a glyphic story and a culture bot. So what you'll do is basically you upload a picture, and based on the picture, it creates a beautiful story. Okay. So, and on the dashboard, I'm able to, sorry, on the platform at the backend, I'm able to actually see with whom the bot has interacted. So that just gives you a glimpse of the chat that's happened with different users and how is it coming out to be on the platform. Okay. Uh, yeah. And yeah, it again asks for another picture. And now this time it is descriptive. It will tell you what this picture is. So yeah, so this is a storytelling bot that we've put in place for you to try Glyphic. So, okay. So let's move forward. We're going to talk a little bit about uh, real life use cases, real use cases. And the first one is Sneha. Sneha is an NGO that's based out of Mumbai. And what they do is they work in the space of women and child health, and the organization started in 2016, and it's 2016. And what they do is basically they support mothers from the time they conceive to to they also take care of the newborn child. They take care of the mother, and then they also support the child, basically the postnatal support, and then they move into childhood care, then adolescents, and finally adults. So what they do is basically they have a continuum of care approach, starts from the time of conception till the time the child becomes an adult. So that is what Sneha does. And Sneha uh, basically works with communities in Mumbai, and in these communities the program works through field workers. Okay, so these field workers or Anganwadi workers, if you're familiar with, what they do is the Anganwadi workers support these women in answering any kind of questions that they have during for their pregnancy period or postnatal and prenatal, for any kind of support these women need, right? So now the challenge is these Anganwadi workers or these field staff have to cater to multiple communities on ground. So they keep moving from one community to another and then to another. Now, this mother who is probably need some kind of expert advice or some kind of advice from an Anganwadi worker. Now, this because this person is not available, she doesn't get her answer solved, right? And that's the problem statement which Sneha team wanted to work, and they then worked on developing a WhatsApp chatbot, which is Sneha Didi. So Sneha Didi is the bot which helps them to answer any kind of questions which these mothers have to take care of their newborn child. So that is what it does, and the primary targets is, for now, they've fixed the for them the current target is just women from low income communities. Okay. What they're doing currently is they started with a small pilot with 2023 in 2023 with 200 women, and in 2024 they've gone to 800 women. If you look at the number, at times people say like this is a small number, but they went ahead and did this pilot, and they realized that there's certain things that would definitely need a lot of improvement within when we're doing a pilot, right? So it was an iterative process for them. They tried something on the ground with 200 200 women. They went back, they experimented, they changed a few things, and now they are they are with 800 users. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how Sneha chatbot works.
Sneha, it, okay, if there's no audio, then fine.
Yeah, there's no audio. The first one is a message keyword that I've sent to the bot. This is a testing account, so I've just sent a test message. Then Sneha Didi comes in. This is an image of a lady who represents an Anganwadi or a field staff worker. And she is asking for, she just addresses the user and says, मैं फोन वाली स्नेहा दीदी हूँ और मैं आपकी जरूर सहायता करने के लिए यहाँ हूँ. आगे बढ़ने से पहले क्या मैं आपको जरूरत के समय पर संदेश कर सकती हूँ. So she's asking for permission in the first section. And that's this is the opt-in, which is like a mandatory step for every user, every organization that they should consider while setting up a chatbot. So it asks for a permission, and let's say yes. Now it is asking to ask a question. The question is पहले साल में कौन कौन से टीके लगते हैं. So that's the question I've asked this bot. Okay, so it gave a list of different vaccinations which the newborn has to, or the kid has to take in the first year of their life. So yeah, so and it also gives accurate information onto when these can be taken. So
Sneha,
yeah,
this is Michelle here.
yeah.
Would it be possible for you to translate in English as well, please? The question that was asked. And
Sure.
thank you.
Okay, so the question here was, I asked this question that in the first year of a child's, or when the newborn kid is born, in the first year of their life, what are different vaccinations they have to take? So that was a question I wrote to the bot. And because this bot is majorly like for Hindi speaking users, hence all the messages are in Hindi. So that's what you would see. But yeah, the question is that, and based on that, the response is this. It gives a list of different vaccines that the child has to take.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So this is it. I'll also send you a link to this bot's testing account so that you can try it out by yourself also by asking questions. Okay. Okay. So this, yeah. Okay. So various possibilities for organizations. The first one is, I mean, if you just look at health NGOs, quite a few possibilities that exist on Glific. The first one is sending health alerts and updates. This can just be, for example, there's something upcoming, there's an update on their health status, there's a vaccination drive that's upcoming, or there's a disease outbreak that is happening, right? So you can send alerts and updates to users, those who to your users, basically. That's what you can do. A few more options we have listed down here. One is follow-up care. sends follow-up messages to ensure parents are adhering to treatment plans. So basically just sending a message to someone who has just been given a plan and just checking on with them. So that's something which is possible. 24/7 health information, like delivering accurate health advices and education material, like something that Sneha is doing currently. So that is something which you can do. There's mental health support chatbot that you can set up. That is possible with Glific. Multi-channel integrations. If you're looking at, for example, like now we'll talk about how things will move with Avni. But yeah, if there are more telemedicine apps, you can integrate Glific with that as well. So yeah, so these are like different possibilities that we see where Glific can add in. But yeah, would be also happy to hear if you have more use cases around this. We do have quite a few organizations that work in the health space. There's one Arogya World that works in diabetes prevention, diabetes cure and prevention space. So what they do is they send messages to users, and the chatbot this chatbot is basically to help people understand how can they take care of their diet better. And they've run a pilot 2 years back where what they do is basically send health advisories to control diabetes, and by the end of the 6 months they've seen people who received messages through the bot showed a significant improvement in prevention, or the prevention of prevention of diabetes. So that's what we have seen with them. So yeah, multiple different use cases depending on what organization's need is. So we can see how we can use Glyphic for that. Other than that, generic use cases, at most of the places, it's about timely delivery of content to all people, run programs, run awareness drives, automate FAQs like how we've done for Sneha Didi, helpline responses, conduct training for teachers, field staff, sending a message or a video, for example, to your field staff and say, this is how you should be maybe, running your operations on ground, and asking them a few questions based on the video that you have just shared. So that is something which you can do, gather feedback, track and manage user engagement data. So when you set up Glyphic, you also set up a data dashboard. And through data dashboard, you're able to see the engagement. And yeah, so that's basically helps you track who are your users, where are they stuck on the different flows, what is the data basically showing you is something that you can see with Glyphic. Okay, so I'm just going to walk you through how the Glyphic platform looks like. It's a small video. Hi everyone, let's explore the Glyphic platform. On the right side, you'll find all your chats. Click on any of the chats to view the entire conversation history. At the top right, you will find collections where you can group users and send messages to specific groups. On the left side, you'll see flow section where you can create and manage your chat flows. Here is an example of Glyphic's chatbot, which in this one, you'll see how you can use drag and drop nodes to build a simple conversation. You can include interactive features like buttons and lists. To test your flows, there's something called as preview tab, which helps you to build your flows, but not only to build your flows, but also test your flows. You can see translate here on the top. It allows Glyphic to auto-translate content into default languages of the flow editor and have the translations populated in other languages enabled in the Glyphic instance. These are the languages which are already here. You can add more languages in the settings section. On the side, you will also see Google Sheets integration. This is one of the most commonly used feature as NGOs work heavily on Google Sheets. You will find support tickets. So support tickets streamline the process of submitting queries and assigning staff members for each query. In the quick tools section, you can create interactive messages, with button and list options, and set up template messages for sending pre-approved structured message outside the 24-hour window. There's also an option for bulk applying these HSM messages. Now, if we'll move to the settings tab, you can configure your organization's name, enable multiple languages, and view third-party integration tools or third-party tools here. Glyfic is designed to be user-friendly, especially for nonprofits. It has a friendly UI, and you don't require any technical skills to run the platform. Okay, so that was on the platform. Just one second. Everyone. Yeah. Okay, so when you also set up Glyfic, you also set up the data dashboard. And the data dashboard is a Looker data dashboards too. Looker data dashboard that we set up. I'm just going to open this for you to see. This is a template. Yeah, this is a template that just gives you an overview of your chatbot. For example, how many contacts reached since launch, active users, contact sending messages. So yeah, so this is a basic data dashboard that will give you some understanding of how the data is flowing into your Glyfic platform. Then you can actually see different flows and who all are going into different flows. So flow level data is something that you can also see. Yeah. Okay, so this is something that we provide already when you're setting up Glyfic, but people usually create these data dashboard based on their requirements. So they move a lot of things here. If someone wants to see how many people, actually asked for, are registered on a vaccination drive. So you can have a question there and like the responses will be pulled in from your Glyfic platform. So you can customize this. All of this is customizable. And depending on your need, you can customize this. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Glyfic Avni integration. So Vinay, would you like to go next?
Sure. Yeah. So there is some level of integration that happens between Glyfic and Avni. And the primary reason for doing this is that Avni is a data store, right? So you have all your beneficiaries' data within Avni. And the benefit of having an integrated flow between Avni and Glyphic is that you can have personalized messages sent at times that are relevant and useful for the end beneficiary. Consider a situation where, say, somebody is setting up a follow-up date with a referral center or setting up like an exam date for a student. Now, using Avni knows that this is happening at a certain time. So you can actually send a message, say, one day before saying, expect this meeting happening tomorrow. So that is one. So these are the kind of benefits that you get by integrating Avni with Glyphic. Now, specifically, if you look at use cases where Avni and Glyphic can go together, the first part which has been used within the AT Chandra project is the user management piece. So what happens here is when you create a user on Avni, right, we can configure it in such a way that the information goes directly or there is a message that you can draft and that you can send to the user directly, the user who is going to use the system. Now, if you have a very large scale system, which means say you have like hundreds or thousands of users, what you can do is one, start that conversation. And if you start that conversation, you can have if you have like a user manual or if you have a help desk system, even if you have like a complete learning management system, that can be built completely on Glyphic and be used for smooth operations. That is the benefit of having the user management. You can also do reminders if you want for to submit their monthly reports on time, things like that. So those are the benefits of sending messages from Avni through Glyphic to the users of Avni. There is also the beneficiary communication side, right? So Avni does not talk to beneficiaries directly. The users go and talk to the beneficiaries and collect information. Now, if you like any of the flows you've seen before, like the Sneha Didi, things like that, what you can do is you can onboard your beneficiary through the Avni platform. And there are certain things that Avni can do in the sense that you can remind people. A few examples are given here. If there is a VHND happening on a certain day, you can remind them that it's happening. You can remind pregnant mothers about their upcoming ANC visit. If there's a de-addiction program, you can send motivational videos. This is something that is happening today, not through Avni, but that's happening on Glyphic right away, right now. Inform student about an upcoming interview. This is also something that has been tried out from Avni to Glyphic. And in case you have something that's happening the next day, you can get reminded. You can collect feedback as Sneha had mentioned before. So these are all different use cases that I can think of. I'm sure you would have a lot more, like based on your use case, you would have a lot more different kind of use cases that you think can work out. So this is a this is basically what Avni integration is really about. So consider a trigger. Right? A trigger is when you create a user or you fill in a form. A form can be anything from registering registering a beneficiary, enrolling them into a program, filling in a particular date. So these are all triggers where you can push a message to the beneficiary or to the user who made that entry. Okay, so that's a trigger. Now, based on that trigger, you can schedule a message. Now, you can schedule a message to be sent right away, or you can schedule a message to be sent on a specific date. Both of these options are possible. And you can choose whether you want to send it to the user, to the beneficiary, or both. All these options are possible on Avni. And the third part is when you send it, you can personalize it with the user data that's already available. You can add a call to action, which essentially means that you can say have a message that says you have an appointment tomorrow. Would you like to attend? And you can have a yes or a no button, and that essentially can trigger a Glyphic flow. Or you could say, uh, hey, you have a new user ID created on Avni. Would you like to know more about Avni? And then from there on, you can start a completely different Glyphic flow, which will train them on Glyphic. So these are all options that are possible with the Avni Glyphic integration. Okay. So these are some messages that I've seen that I've put here. The first one on the top is welcome to Avni Field User Glyphic Demo. So you can have a simple welcome statement. You can add this to say download. Now you can download the app from the Play Store and start using it. You can also say start learning more about Avni, or if you have any questions, ask me, and that can have a conversational flow within Glyphic itself. That's the first screenshot. The second screenshot is where I've said, hi, Ramesh Krishnan, your eye testing appointment has been set up on Feb 28th. Looking forward to meeting you there. So this is a very simple message. Once you have it, you can send it through. There are also options to manually send messages from the admin panel. If you have the Glyphic integration set up, you can create groups of different beneficiaries and you can send them messages in bulk. Now, this is something that is also present in Glyphic. So if you have a Glyphic login, you can go there and directly do it. In case you in case you don't want people to go to Glyphic, you can do that from Avni as well. So that's just a convenience feature at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Vinay. Any questions? We'll just take up if there are questions on this particular piece. Any thoughts?
I had one question. Like in the last part where you talked about integration of a tool like Avni with Glific, one fundamental doubt I had was suppose we are in a hospital and we are collecting data and it is going to an Excel. So can't we link Glific directly to that Excel? Like what would be the use of Avni or the role of Avni in that process?
There would be no role if you're not collecting data on Avni.
Okay.
Specifically in hospital scenarios, it doesn't make any. If you are
Sense.
on the field and if you have community health workers collecting data on Avni already,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to get them onboarded onto a flow, then it makes sense.
Got it. One more doubt that I had was, so we have recently done a survey where we have screened people for alcohol use. So let's say like we have a list of 10,000 people who drink alcohol and we want to send them messages. But these people are not like, so is it ethically justified to send them the messages? And does Glyphic allow that if they're not in my contacts? Like I have their phone numbers, but they have no idea that I'm going to send them messages. But can I still send them the messages?
So that's where opt-in comes in. Basically, the for either you have
Got it.
some
A
kind of
message.
yeah, either a first message or a written confirmation, permission from them saying that hey, we are from this organization. We would be sending you messages to support you in XYZ initiative, for example. Right? Are you okay with that? So either you have written consent from them or through the bot you have a consent,
We have
right?
asked them.
Yeah.
Got it.
The only tricky part is when they don't know you is they will mark you spam. Okay.
Yeah.
So if they mark you spam, your bot will go down. Your bot will be
Oh,
restricted. Yeah, your bot will be restricted by Meta. So you won't be able to send messages that way.
oh,
Okay.
got
So
it.
Meta is trying to control the spam that happens through the bots. And because people usually like get lists of different people, right? I mean different users, which is readily available. So that is why it's very important to get confirmation,
Consent. Got
consent.
it.
Yeah. Sorry, consent from these people.
Thank you.
One more question. Is the audio messages still give the answer or some typing is required for the beneficiary?
So you can so audio messages, yeah, you can send audio messages on Glyphic. That's
No,
possible.
not I can send, but from the beneficiary point
Yeah.
of view, it does not write properly on the mobile screen.
Yeah, that is possible. The users can give you responses in the audio form. That is possible. And then it can then get converted into text for you to see. Yes, Ramesh.
Yeah, so I have two questions. One to Vinay for the regarding the Avni Glific integration. So we are already on Avni. We are using it for classroom observations. So in this scenario, like suppose say we want the observer after observation to send a short message to the teachers, like the observer would definitely have a conversation with the teacher at the end of the observation. And after that, we also would like the observer to send a short message based on the feedback to the teacher. So that teacher will have a record of what was the feedback from the observer. So in this scenario, so how would this happen, and what all data would we need? Would we need teacher mobile numbers on Avni that time, or like how would this work, exactly?
So as of now, the way the feature is set up, right? So you see the messages on the screen right now. Hi, Ramesh Krishnan. Your eye testing appointment has been set up on Feb 28, 2025. Looking forward to meeting you there. So this message, right, it's here because uh, somebody on Glyphic has gone ahead and submitted it to Meta, and Meta has approved it. Okay. If you can get every such message approved from Meta, you can send it. That is how it is. I don't know if there is a word limitation on how big a message can be. And so that is one thing. You can add fillers. Like, for example, if you see that Feb 8, 2025, right? That is a filler. And it's like a blank that we can fill in. In our particular case, we don't like the question really is how big the message is, and can it actually be approved by Meta? So those are the two things. I think I'll leave it next to Sneha to explain more.
Yeah. And the approval based on what? Approval mechanism is based on what? Is there just the size for the message only or any other criteria for approval?
So it depends on what kind of message you are sending. Okay. So I'll just show you how that looks like on the platform. So these are all template messages, pre-approved messages that you need to send to Meta for approval. Okay. So these messages, you need to make it simple for them to understand what is the content of these messages. So you need to tell them what exactly is the because just for example, you're sending this message, the screenshot that Vinay had on this slide. This is a template, right? Hi, Ramesh Krishnan is the fill in the blank, you can say, right? Is the placeholder for the full name, right? You can keep this as hi first name, last name. Your eye testing appointment has been set up for brackets date, right? So that this won't get rejected by Meta. So Meta wants to understand what is the content of the message that you're sending. It's also linked to the spam that I was talking about, right? So you have to make this message, create this template in such a way that you are showing what you're going to send to a user. Okay.
Got got it.
So it
Yeah.
can have placeholders basically, but the content,
Uh-huh.
the other content has to be there, which you can,
To
so
make
you
it
can
look like it's not a spam or something like that,
exactly,
right?
exactly. That's the idea. That's the idea.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to see if
Got
I can find more, but yeah,
it.
that's the idea.
Yeah. Okay. And for this to work, then on Avni, we should have both the teacher contact details as well, right? For the message to go to to a particular teacher. If you want to send a message to a particular teacher, then teacher mobile number should be there, right? On Avni.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Yeah, and my second question is to Sneha. So regarding the medical applications, right? So especially in a scenario like there's a kind of a question answer kind of a thing. Like there's like you're giving a prescription or you're giving details of vaccination to be done. So is that being answered by an AI tool or is that kind of we have already fed in kind of answers to these questions? How does that work exactly?
Sure, I can tell you. So basically, there's something called as assistants here. Okay. Assistants is something that you set up. You upload a document or a knowledge base and it should have all the answers. Like for example, Sneha Didi has 4,000 plus questions on their knowledge base, and it has answers to those questions, and we have added it to the assistants. So the answer is being fetched from the document which Sneha team has uploaded, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
so basically consider this as a document which has questions and answers, and the answer is being provided from what your model has been trained on. Sorry, what
Okay.
your chatbot has been trained on. So yeah.
Okay. So on the platform we have the provision for training, right? Like so we can train like suppose like in a classroom scenario, like we for example, if you say like we train teachers on using a hook at the beginning of the lesson, right? To get students, ready for be prepared for yeah, like for learning that lesson. So there's something called a short. We call it a hook, some
Hook.
activity or a video, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So and suppose like when you go to higher grade levels and subjects like physics or chemistry, so teachers find it difficult to get a good hook to start with. So in such case, suppose we think of a bot coming in there, and we want to kind of help teachers to find a good hook for them for a particular topic. So in that case, like, so you mean like in such scenario, we should have thought of all the possible hooks beforehand, and so train the platform
To
on
answer.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
To
cannot
answer.
be like it can kind of go through like kind of an AI model coming in and kind of dynamically helping the teacher to get a good hook, right? It's
Yeah.
not like that.
Yeah. So basically it depends on, because hook, I mean, if I'll talk about hook can also be something which will be different for example, a second grader versus the 10th grader,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
So
Yeah,
how would a bot know which hook to send, right?
yeah.
To
Mm-hmm.
send, right? You
Mm-hmm.
need to give this bot a little bit of instructions on what is required. So maybe a question, hey, which grade are you teaching today, for example?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then the bot says, oh, the teacher says, for example, sixth grade. And this is for which class? Hindi, English, or maybe if it is something else, right? How are you classifying these hooks? And based on that, it can just give teacher a relevant hook. For example, is it a 2 minute hook you want or a 5 minute hook you want? What do you want
Mm-hmm.
exactly, right? So you can classify those different kind of hooks, and like teacher can actually ask for a hook. For example,
Mm-hmm.
a science hook maybe would be a little different than a subject, some other subject,
Exactly. Yes, yes,
right? So
yeah.
that's also
Yeah.
something which we can enable through the bot, so that teacher gets the right kind of information instead of giving her whatever is available in this universe. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that's where training of the bot, and that's where setting up a knowledge base. Maybe consider this as a document which has different hooks categorized in different to different grades or different subjects, something that you can come up with and try it out how the bot is able to answer.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, from my side.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Charan?
Yeah. Hi. I have one question. So, it's to Vinay only. As far Glific is integrating with Avni, can I expect few of the basic Avni features to be on WhatsApp? Is this going to be possible, or how it's going to be done? Curious about this because of
Sorry,
Glific integration.
the voice was a bit faint. I couldn't understand the question.
Vinay, am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So my question is, as Avni is getting integrated with Glific, so okay, can I expect a few basic features of Avni in the WhatsApp? Is it possible? How this integration is going to take place?
Can you give me like an example of what you were expecting?
Expecting in the sense, when if I have to download any report, or if I want to check any numbers, or what are the status of today's enumeration, or anything that we are using to collect data on Avni now. So can I check the status through WhatsApp itself? I'm expecting that
That
kind of
is,
feature.
that is at least not available at this point, Charan.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Okay. So so I'll just go to who is Glyphic for, just a few closing slides. If you're directly working with NGOs, directly working with users on the ground and beneficiaries or field staff, and the size is significantly big, so there's definitely a place for you to automate conversations that are happening through the programs with the end beneficiary. So that's where you can think about using Glyphic. There are regular intervals in which you want to collect information from the ground or share information from about your program with end beneficiaries. You can do that, for example, once or twice a week, or maybe going up to all days a week, right? So that's where you can think about using Glyphic. Organization has the resources. By resources, what I mean is a team member who can look at using you who can see the chatbot, run it for them, run it for your organization, take up the responsibility of designing flows, testing it with the users, and yeah, so that's one, and the other one is the funds to run the platform. So yeah, so I'll close it there, but just wanted to hear one or two maybe places where you see this adding for your programs. Any thoughts where you see this, where you see Glyphic coming in? Would just like to hear that. Yeah, Ramesh.
Yeah, I think I've discussed two use cases already. Like, so one, like we are already on Avni, so we're thinking of sending an after observation feedback to teachers. So we are looking for a good platform for that use case, and that is one. And the other example, like kind of a hook or any other kind of aspects which teachers are trained on, and where we have a resource bank already. So how can we kind of make use of Glyphic so that teachers can easily access, the particular resource bank, and kind of it will be useful for them as well. Like, so two use cases. But one question is like to set up the flow, or to kind of set up Glyphic. Like, is there a coding expertise needed, or is it kind of a low or no code kind of a
Yeah,
configuration?
it's no code, low code. Yeah, but someone who knows the program, knows a little bit of how can he navigate through the platform, some basic analytical skills in terms of using the platform is what we need. So no coding required.
Cool. Yeah, thanks.
Any other one or two responses?
Yeah, this is Murugan.
Hi, Murugan.
Thank you for just taking us trying to explaining. Just want to understand, is it Glyphic and there's another intricate you was mentioning, Avni, right? So is it two platform or is it combined with both?
They're two different platforms.
All
Avni,
right,
Avni is different, Glyphic is different.
different. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we're on time. Any other questions, thoughts